Hi, I'm Juanita and welcome back to the Knit Guru. I don't know if this lack of wind is going to hang around. I hope it does, because the weather's going to be crap for the next couple of days. This is my Everything I Knit and Crochet in the Month of August video. I'm going to start with a disclaimer. On the evening of the 30th of July this year, well, it wasn't the evening, it was while I was still at work, I had a fall. And in that fall, I managed to hurt my ankle and get whacked on the head with a gate and get concussion. So for this whole month, I've been really struggling with a head injury. So all the things that I made promises about at the end of last month are not the things that got done. Everything that got done was something else. I'm trying to hide this one because it's not finished. So there are going to be some things that you've seen already on the channel, and there's going to be some things that are still coming up on the channel, and we'll see how we go as we go through them. We're going to start with the first one. Now, I think I had one of these socks finished last month. These ended up being an epic game of yarn chicken, because I've had this yarn for so long, and I think something must have gotten into it, because I think it was the cat. I don't want to blame the cat, but the cat is right here. I think it was the cat. The outside was a little bit shredded. So there was a lot of the yarn that was unusable. It was just in short lengths. And so a while back when I started these socks, I threw those short lengths out, which meant that as I was knitting these socks, yarn chicken kicked in big time. I'm still not entirely sure that I've managed to make each sock the same length. I feel like one of them might be 2 rows shorter than the other. But you know what? I don't care. They're done. I have not darned in the edges. Yes. Hello, my beautiful but naughty boy. Yes. Would you like me to bring you up a chair? You want to sit and join? He's been my constant companion. There's been a lot of struggling to talk and think. I couldn't crochet for most of the month, but I was able to knit. So because I was able to knit, as long as I used the ergonomic needles or 4mm needles, it was quite possible for most of this month, but I have been on a lot of bed rest. So the first thing I do have complete, minus the darning in of the ends, that doesn't count, a pair of socks. I think one sock, because I think the other sock was done last month, but I'd have to check the video. Next thing I made, this scarf. Now, you will have seen this scarf already on the channel. This is a scarf, it's a revised pattern of a pattern that I've had for a long time, where it's one where the scarf has this hole through it, which means that it's less likely to blow away, because it's at least got something else to stop it. It styles quite easily. It looks like you're put together when you wear it under a blazer or a long coat. It's designed for those men who don't look put together to look put together. It's a broken rib scarf, so it makes it quite lush and squishy. And I did this in a chunky 12-ply yarn. Now, the pattern now comes in 2 versions. The first version is a DK version, and the second version is the chunky 12-ply. And basically the only difference is the 12-ply one is wider, but because it's broken rib, it kind of shrinks in anyway. And you don't have to do as many rows when you do the 12-ply. So I recommend doing a 12-ply scarf, because it's the first time I've been able to knit a scarf without losing the will to live in a month. So there was the scarf. I also made these. Now, these were made well and truly in the concussion days, because I had the 4mm ergonomic needles. This was the first project I worked on while I was out of action. These are my scrappy socks. I'm just going to try and adjust my bin of projects here, because it is windy, and I'd kind of like to block the microphone from the wind, because I don't think I can edit out the wind, but I don't want to film inside. I could go up to the house, but it's filled with plumbers, so I don't want to do that either. So these are scrappy socks. So this is double stranded 4-ply sock yarn, which makes it the equivalent of a DK yarn. These are men's socks, and these are going to be my partner's Father's Day gift, because he likes wearing my knitted socks. But it's kind of useful in that I had a ball of yarn that was surplus to requirement, but I don't want to sit and knit him 4-ply socks all the time. He's good size 13 feet. It's a lot of stitches. It's a lot of rows. I am currently working on a pair of socks for his birthday that are 4-ply yarn in lamb's wool, which is beautiful wool. But that's not going to be finished before December when his birthday is. Father's Day's in a couple of days here in New Zealand. So that's what these scrappy socks were for, as well as this is from my 24-hour play socks. I might link that down below. This is from his Christmas socks last year, which I actually don't know if I've released the pattern for that. I don't think I have. I might have to release the pattern for this one. This one, I think I was calling it stained glass socks. Or beekeeper socks? I don't know. Either way, it's got a hexagonal pattern that happens because of some slip stitch rows. And it's one of those ones that when you've got one of those hand-dyed yarns and a plain black yarn, it just really pops and looks really cool. And then this pink one here was from when I did the Stephen West mystery sock along, not last year, but the year before. And I used this wool from the Kindly Dyer, and I had pink and I had orange, and I had all these left over. But there wasn't enough of any of them to knit a pair of socks. But in doing this, I've managed to make zero waste socks. Really, Kat, you're gonna try and sniff my camera? You're covered in dirt. Oh, you're covered in dirt. You want to go and roll on my white duvet cover? Okay, the dog is currently out barking at the plumbers, so I should really go and deal with that. But I'm more worried about the wind. So you win. The dog gets told off later, and the cat always gets told off. Right, what's next? The next one is this hot water bottle cover. Now, you'll be saying, why, Juanita, you just did a hot water bottle cover? We've seen the pattern. We've made the pattern. We love the pattern. Oh, dog's coming back of his own accord. Yeah, you better run. Yeah. So this one will be released in Socktober because my Socktober videos do take me all year. But why Socktober? This hot water bottle cover has a foot hole. And it's seamless. So there'll be instructions for just a regular seamless hot water bottle cover, and the instructions for it to be the one with the foot version. So that's my hot water bottle cover. I probably should have put it in a hot water bottle, but yeah. Basically, every time I've finished a project, I've put it in this bin, and that's what my plan has been over the last wee while, is just put it in the bin. Because I forget, even before I got concussed, what I've done. And now that I've been concussed, if it's not in the bin, I don't know if I've made it. And there's a lot of stuff in this bin that actually just needs clearing out of the bin, because some of it, is in the wrong bin. I've got one bin of current projects, one bin of parked projects, and now this bin, which is supposed to be finished projects, and one bin that's supposed to be just not notions, but there's things like beads and wire and all those things that you buy and you're like, oh, I've got an idea for that, and you need somewhere to put it. So I've got these 4 bins that sit in my room and I can refer to them. Right, what else have we got? These are both coffee cozies. These were again ones that were made while I was still on bed rest, because I was just using the yarn that was within reach. So this one is released for Father's Day, and it says Dad around the outside. It's hard to tell when you don't have a coffee cup in it. I mean, I could have put it in a coffee cup, but again, I didn't, because I'm clearly an idiot. You might be able to see D written in relief. It stands out relatively well when it's got a coffee cup in it. Now this one will fit the standard and the grande coffee cups, the takeaway ones. It does get wider at the top than it is at the bottom, so it slides on quite nicely. I find the ones that are the regular over here, this is kind of the height of the regular ones, and then the Starbucksy ones that get taller and taller, it fits quite nicely as like a handhold in the middle. It won't fit those tiny espresso ones if you're drinking those, but if you're drinking espresso, like black espresso in those tiny cups, more power to you. not allowed coffee because it's a stimulant, and it inhibits my brain repair. I'm still drinking it. I'm not pipelining it like usual. I'm being sensible on the coffee. Sensible. Right, the next one. This is, it's another coffee cozy. I think I released it as Teacher Appreciation or Back to School or one of the others because it's got an apple on it. On this side, it's got a cutesy apple. I have since seen Michelle Jasic putting out a list of fall projects. Now, the list of fall projects had lots of apple-themed things, so technically this could be in time for fall. Maybe I'll have to go back and add, like, fall tags to it. But one side's got this basic apple. The other side's got this side with the pips. I don't have a lot of browns. I can see a ball of brown sitting down here on the ground where clearly at some point I've dropped a ball of brown yarn and not taken it inside. Yeah, I don't care for neutrals, clearly. So there's this one and this one. They're very similar. Now, the reason that I did these is that I needed something small that I could do that didn't require a lot of, not thought, but I just needed to be able to do something simple. So this one here works as the stitches all come through in relief. So you're just changing with knits and purls to get the pattern. And this one is a really basic colour work. Now, I did not do it stranded so much. A little bits of strand, but mostly I did it as intarsia. But both of these have a chart pattern, and I recommend following the chart rather than the written pattern. I feel like the written pattern is wrong because I use an app called Knitting Chart Creator, and I normally just use it for the chart. But I noticed this time that there was a button that you could push that said generate pattern. And sometimes it works well and sometimes it doesn't. I think on this one it worked relatively well, except it didn't say to change back to white. It would say to change to red, but not say to change to white. And with this one, I'm not sure if the knits and purls are correct on the reverse, on the wrong side. If it was knit in the round, I think the instructions would have worked better. So don't trust the written versions. And my head has not been up to being able to look at those written versions, but I just clicked the button for those. The charts are correct, but don't trust the written versions. I do have other coffee cozy patterns that are available on my site. What else did we make? This is kind of like the win of the whole thing. I made another Labubu. This one's yellow. There isn't a yellow Labubu. There is the, oh, head is creeping in. The sound of the universe, I tell you. Wind hurts. This Labubu is a slightly different pattern to my last knitted my last knitted Labubu. And this one will be released before you see this video, I think. I think this one is set to come out the Monday of the week that this video comes out. But I still haven't filmed the voiceover for this pattern yet because I have to have the ability to do that much talking. But what is cool about this Labubu, other than the fact that all these kids teenagers, on this drama trip we went on, Rocky said, "Oh, Miss, oh, you're so basic. You've got a Labubu." And I was like, being like, yeah, I do. I have two Labubu. I have some other Labubu on the way. Am I planning on buying a Labubu in about 45 minutes? Yes, I'm going to try and buy the new Labubu. Mittens is watching me. She wants snacks. But when they saw that I knit this, I got mad props because they're way more into Lafufu than Labubu. Because making your own Labubu, that's something art students are into. And I teach drama. So there's this. I'm going to make some more of them because I've ordered some more of these faces. So I figure that I'm going to make one for my niece. They were very impressed that it looked like a Labubu. And it's one that the face and the feet, I purchased them off of Etsy. But since then, I think it's one of those ones where it was an Etsy reseller. And I found the same thing on AliExpress. So I'm not going to tag the person that I got these from. You can get the 3D printed molds, 3D printing files on Thingiverse for free for the feet and the hands and the face. Of course, they do the Lafufu thing where they spin as far as you want them to, but I still need to make a crochet version pattern of this that uses the silicone face, and I do want to make some more knitted ones. So I've ordered some more faces and feet, and I'm still getting Dad to make me some with the 3D printer because I'm down this rabbit hole now of Labubu, so I may as well embrace it while it's here. Is that all the finished projects? That might be all the finished projects. I have not touched this cardigan at all in the last month. I had big plans of touching this cardigan. However, there is no way that I have been up to doing this, not in terms of the counting or the looking at this colour, or even the fact that the slidey needles and the slidey stitches, and they're all pink. There's no way my brain could do it. So that's still on hold. I'll get to it. The only other thing I've been working on, she says putting all these things back in the bin, I think, did I give anything away? I might have given something away. I feel like there's not enough in the bin, of the small stuff anyway. I have been working on this. This is the 6-star Supernova blanket. So I've made the 6-day star blanket before. I think cat chasing. The 6-day star blanket has 7 points. This one's got 14 points because at this point at here, you build another point out of the spaces, so it ends up being more round. So far we're several weeks into this because I'm using a smaller hook and a smaller yarn, but it's getting there. It's looking impressive, but I am looking at it thinking, will I ever do anything that's not super bright colours? I also need to be a friend to myself and start darning in some of these ends now, because we're getting close to the end of the first balls of yarn. I got 7 balls of yarn from this Colour Lab DK from West Yorkshire Spinners. Now, these ones, I've got 7 colours. There will be a video about this, which will go through which the colours are. And I'm about that far through the first ball. I've got 2 balls of each colour. So I'm about that far through the first of the balls. So I think it should be large enough to sit on top of a queen size bed and look impressive at the end. Or at least drape across the back of a couch, or not be ruined by a cat is what I really want. Yeah, so there's that. Are there other things that I've been working on? Yes, there is at least one other project that I have worked on that I'm not putting in this video, mostly because it's a video that's going to come out in October, and it's one that is an experiment, so I'm not going to tell you anything about it. It's not a big project. It took me a while, but everything's taking me a while, but it's not a big project. But it's one that I'm just going to leave as a bit of a surprise because it's one that made me laugh. And I have started a pair of men's socks, but there's nothing really that impressive to show you. I'm through one from ankle to the heel of one sock, and it's a black Gotland lamb, so the lambs themselves are the black colour of the yarn. That's the colour of... Oh, he's coming back. He's been telling off the plumbers again, have you? Bro! What you doing, bro? Anyway, so it's a black sock and it's got some colour contrasty bits. But I haven't brought that one out to show you because it's not that impressive to show at all. I think that's all I've been working on. I have not sat down and made the strawberries for my strawberry cardigan, and that was one of the things I thought, right, okay, I'm on bed rest. I could make a strawberry and go back to sleep. I could make a strawberry and go back to sleep. But because I hadn't decided how I wanted the strawberries to be, and I still had prototype strawberry patterns, I didn't do any of those. That and slidey needles. I really needed the plastic ergonomic ones when I finally got started knitting. And it was a solid 2 weeks after the fall before I could hold a crochet hook. And I think, yeah, I have not done any amigurumi crochet all month. The only crochet I've done is that star blanket. So, it's a big project, but it is just granny clusters, double crochets, and some single crochets. So there's nothing complex in there. And what I like about it is that it's quite repetitive. I can't complete a round in the morning before I get out of bed because it's got too big for that. But we'll see how we go. So what are my plans for September? Well, for September, I do have some more sock projects I need to be working on because October is Socktober, and currently I have not finished. I think I need 8 or 9 videos about socks just to get through Socktober. I mean, clearly, I don't need to. No one's saying, oh, Juanita, you've got a YouTube channel, you must do every video about socks in Socktober. And no, it's just what I feel like doing because that's what I did last year. And the year before, I think I did sock videos as well. Yeah, so it's become a tradition is that I do sock videos in Socktober. I do have some patterns that need to be written up and some videos that need filming, I think, or at least I need to go back and find the footage. So I've got some summer socks, I've got the stained glass socks, and yeah. But as far as videos I've edited for October, I've edited those scrappy socks. I haven't edited the hot water bottle. I haven't edited the secret project that I haven't told you about. I do have one for Build-A-Bear socks that I also haven't edited. So I've got a few that I haven't edited, but that also means that there's a few that I haven't finished. So it's starting to look a little precarious as to whether or not we'll make it. How is September looking in terms of busyness? Quite. I think I have something on every weekend, and I will be back at work full-time soon. I've been working part days, but I will be back at work full-time at some point, rather than having naps in the afternoon. Anyway, that is everything I knit and crochet in the month of August. Oh, it was also my birthday, and I turned 47, and I had great plans about sending some stuff out to some of my subscribers for my birthday, but because of my head injury, that didn't happen. So watch this space. That's still going to happen, but it's just not going to happen yet because I just wasn't able to get done what I needed to get done. But I've got some people that I've communicated with over on Ravelry, some on my website, some on YouTube, that I want to get in contact with, get some addresses, and send something out to you. Nothing big, but I just want to send some stuff out because I just want to say thank you for making my year. I better now go inside because it's starting to rain and my dog is somewhere. If you want to know what I've been working on, here's a video up here that YouTube thinks you're going to like. Down here, I'm going to link my playlist of everything I've made in a month, and that goes back to at least 2021. Maybe earlier. And if you want to stick around for some more chaos as this wind turns and it becomes a full-on storm, you can subscribe up here in the corner. I will catch you next week. Bye.